A beautiful fantasy world, a unique power system, and tales so grand that even time itself would stop to listen. Who wouldn't want to live in a world like that? And honestly, it's surprisingly easy to get there. Isekai, meaning another world, is a fantasy subgenre that's exploded in popularity in recent years. And because of that, the anime industry has started pumping them out like there's no tomorrow. Most of them follow the same basic formula. The main character dies and is either transported or reborn in another world, almost always with some overpowered ability that makes them instantly special. A lot of people think there are just too many isekai out there, and worse, that most of them are garbage. So they avoid the genre entirely. But I'm here to say, it's not that simple. In fact, you might be missing out. I've watched a fair amount of isekai myself, and yes, most of them would fall under what people call trash isekai. But what even is a trash isekai? Basically, it's your average isekai where the protagonist is insanely overpowered, faces no real struggle, and experiences little to no character development. The plot? Copy pasted from the last 10 shows just with a new stupid gimmick. I'm looking at you, Reborn, as a vending machine. These are the shows that give isekai a bad name. They're the reason the genre gets dismissed so easily. But what if I told you that these trashy isekai aren't completely worthless? Yeah, they're generic, but sometimes that's the point. These are the shows you throw on when you want to turn your brain off, relax, and just vibe. They're comfort anime, background anime. The kind of show you can watch while folding laundry, grinding in a game, or pretending to study. And here's the kicker. If every isekai were just trash, I wouldn't be making this video. But buried in a landfill are some real diamonds. And in the rest of the video, I'm going to dig them up and show you why they shine. The three anime I'll be talking about are Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Now, I'm not saying these are the best isekai ever made, but they're the ones I enjoyed the most recently, and they each bring something genuinely interesting to the table. Mushoku Tensei is an anime that came out in 2021 and produced by Studio Bind. This animation studio was established for the sole purpose of animating Mushoku Tensei. This should show you how much love was put into the show. Disclaimer: before I start talking about the story, I just want to say that I do not condone Rudeus' action before his reincarnation and the degeneracy he commits during the show. The story is about this 34-year-old Japanese NEET who completely faded life. He literally missed his parents' funeral for reasons that involve one hand and no dignity. His family finds out, beats him up, and kicks him out. While wandering the streets, he tries to save a group of girls that is about to get run over by Truck-kun, but dies in the process. This dude then gets reincarnated in a fantasy world as a boy named Rudeus, and gets a second chance in life. Until here, the story might seem like every other generic isekai, but what sets it apart is that Mushoku Tensei is character-driven and not power-driven. Yeah, it might seem like Rudeus gets pretty strong at the beginning of the story, but trust me, there are many other characters stronger than him, and he won't be able to solve all of his problems with strength alone. People might not believe it, but Rudeus actually grows as a character. And it's not just him, the people around him also grow. Other well-written aspects are the good world building and passage of time. The world feels alive and well thought of. I'm a sucker for animes with good world building. The Mushoku Tensei anime literally made me read the light novel. And when a show is able to do that, you need to believe me that it's good. And as already mentioned, the passage of time is also very refreshing. I've watched too many shows where no time flows, nobody grows, and everyone just stays the same. If you're able to see beyond Rudeus' degenerate antics, I would highly recommend you to give Mushoku Tensei a chance. And if you're not able to, I got another show for you. ReZero's third season just ended recently, and it was amazing. The anime originally came out in 2016 and follows a 17-year-old NEET named Subaru. One evening, he heads to a convenience store, and the moment he walks out, bam! He's suddenly transported into a fantasy world. Not even a minute into the new world, Subaru gets mugged by a group of thugs and is saved by a mysterious half-elf girl named Emilia. He immediately falls for her and decides to help her achieve her goal, winning the royal selection to become the next ruler of the kingdom. Sounds like a typical isekai so far, right? But here's a twist. I left out one major detail. When Subaru arrives in a new world, he doesn't get any special powers or cheap skills. No super strength, no legendary sword, no magic spells. What he does get is a cursed ability called Return by Death. Every time Subaru dies, he resets back to a specific point in time, kind of like a video game checkpoint. But unlike a game, dying hurts. a lot. So what makes ReZero special is this. Subaru doesn't overcome obstacles by being stronger than everyone else. He survives by learning. He has to figure out the right path forward through trial and error, experiencing different outcomes in each loop. The story isn't about power fantasy, it's about persistence, pain, and growth. And sure, some people may say, well, it's not that deep, you can just redo everything anyway. But let me ask you, would you want to die over and over again just to maybe save the people you care about? Every death comes with trauma, and Subaru has to carry all of it. He can't tell anyone about return by death either. He has to suffer through it, alone. That emotional weight combined with the psychological tension and the fantastic cast of characters makes ReZero one of the most unique and impactful isekai out there. Subaru isn't an overpowered hero. He is a stubborn, broken, and incredibly human character. If you've never watched ReZero, now's the perfect time to start. Last but not least, let's talk about that time I got reincarnated as a slime, or Tensura. As you might have guessed from the title, yes, it's about a guy who dies and gets reincarnated as a slime. Okay, all jokes aside, it's about a middle-aged salaryman who one day, while protecting a coworker from a random stabbing, gets killed. And boom, reincarnated into a fantasy world. But not as a warrior, not as a mage, a literal blue blob. But here's the thing, Rimuru, the slime he becomes, might look like a jelly bean, but he's one of the most powerful, flexible, and straight-up chill isekai protagonists out there. He gains the ability to absorb creatures and acquire their skills, and with the help of his OP passive abilities, he learns incredibly fast. So yeah, Rimuru does become powerful, really powerful. But what makes Tensura special isn't just his strength, it's what he does with it. Instead of going on a revenge quest or hoarding power, Rimuru uses his skills to bring people and monsters together. He founds a nation called Tempest, a safe haven where monsters of all races can live in peace. He becomes a leader, a negotiator, a diplomat. And yes, occasionally a complete badass when people threaten what he has built. The show doesn't just focus on leveling up, it's about politics, alliances, economics, and building a functioning society in a fantasy world. It's like Isekai SimCity, and it works surprisingly well. Another strong point is Rimuru himself. Unlike a lot of edgy or arrogant isekai protagonists, he is calm, kind, and open-minded. He genuinely wants to create a better world, not just for himself, but for everyone around him. And he actually learns and grows as a leader as the story progresses. The side characters also aren't just decorations. They get their own arcs, moments, and development. The world is rich with lore, and the pacing gives time for both action and character-driven episodes. So yeah, Tensura might look like a standard power fantasy at first glance, but it's a power fantasy with heart. And honestly, seeing a slime become a beloved leader of a monster nation is way more fun than it has any right to be. If you're into world building, fantasy politics, or just want to watch a nice guy become a demon lord without losing his morals, give Tensura a shot. Now we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and I was able to change your outlook on isekai animes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you next time.